aircraft that are now on the runway and just lifting off. In the lead and trailing are 2 aircraft from the former Soviet Union. As they break, the black aircraft, the jet, is flown by Mark "Crunchy" Burgess. It is from the Warrior Flight Team. The aircraft that broke to the left and is headed away from us out to the right. The green aircraft is the World War II vintage Yak-9, the Yakovlev Design Bureau that made so many trainers and combat aircraft in World War II and continues to build aircraft, throughout the Cold War. But watch as Sean Carroll dives down. Listen to the sound of this piston engine. Not a radial, liquid-cooled V12 Allison. For whatever reason, we're not going to be able to pull the wings up on the Hornet right now, but give Ken Barnhart away. Left, Sean Carroll flying the Yak-9. These were built in huge numbers by the Russians in World War II, and he's diving down at over 300 miles per hour. Way to go, 2 cents. Now watch as Sean Carroll goes into a super slow roll. The original V12 engine on this aircraft would have been a Russian engine, but this is outfitted with an Allison engine. Back in 1991, in an old Yakovlev Design Bureau factory in Russia, enough parts that had never been used were found and used to assemble 7 Yak-9s, brand new. Now, extensive modifications have been done to this airplane, and Sean Carroll has even raced it at the National Championship Air Races in Reno, Nevada. But we'll see more from him in just a moment. This is another Cold War trophy. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, some of these aircraft became available on the open market, and some enterprising Americans bought some of them and brought them over to this country. This is the Aero L-39 Albatross, flown by former U.S. Navy Tomcat pilot Mark "Crunchy" Burgess. The airplane, the L-39 Albatross, can get to speeds with only a 3,800 pound of thrust engine of over 500 miles per hour. As he climbs up, he'll roll the aircraft. No, he'll continue to pull through over the top. Let's see if he's going to round out the loop or if he'll do a 1/2 cubic 8. Looks like he's stabilized from the 45-degree nose down with a roll and a half on the down line. That is the 1/2 cubic 8. With me here on the stage to tell you about Warrior Flight Team and the 2.5 that we see out front is Bob Henley. Bob, welcome to the air show.
Thank you very, very much, Rob. It's nice to see you again.
Good to see you, bud.
Thank you, Dan, for all what you do. Warrior Flight Team is here today. Really appreciate being part of NAS Oceana 2012. In front of you, you see the aircraft that you hear Rob Leiter describing. These are the Warrior Flight Team, the flagship aircraft for Warrior Aviation. Just down behind the entrance to the VIP section, you'll see our tent with a waiting opportunity logo on the top. We'd love for you to come join us and find out more about our programs. If you're here with the veteran family or you know veterans, please come down and visit us, learn about our programs. Rob's going to describe some of the maneuvers that you see here. In a little bit, you're actually going to see some 1v1 aerial combat maneuvering. And as we see that, I'm going to inject a little bit in between some of this wine to give you more information about Warrior Aviation.
Thank you, Bob. All right, this L-39 Albatross was used as a jet trainer for the former Soviet Union. Of the 2,000 or so that were built, about 200 or 220 are here in the United States. Watch for the nose to come up as he goes through a triple aileron roll. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, a guy named Dan McHugh, who lives in St. Augustine, Florida, and is from York, Maine, brought the first batch of these over. They cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $70,000. Now, it's a lot of money, but not when you consider a jet. And then they were purchased, wings taken off, put in containers, brought over on a ship, got to the United States, were trucked to restoration facilities for another $100,000 or so. They were made usable in the United States Air Space System. And it was a very, very good way for former military and jet-rated civilian pilots to get into a warbird. And since we did win the Cold War, they are nicknamed Cold War trophies. Barrel roll, he'll bring it around for one more pass as he sets up for a 4-point roll.
Thanks again, Rob. What I'd like to do is point out that on the ground, in front of the crowd, the VIP stands, as well as in the facility section, is a M35 2.5 truck. We have two very, very special guests with us today on the truck. Please stand up. Please show your appreciation for their service and sacrifice. We have Sergeant Jared Lemon, who's with us today. He's commissioned in Afghanistan. I'm sorry, he's in Iraq. And he is part of our Loyal Aviation Scholarship Program. We're looking to help him fulfill his dream of career placement and job training in the field of his choice, which is what we do. Also is Brent Toss Hendricks. Toss, as we refer to him, has actually gone through over 60 surgeries. He's determined to keep things going with the 172nd Strike Fighter Brigade out of Fairbanks, Alaska. We're glad to have him with us. He would like to become an aviator in our program. Over right, the L-39 Albatross. And overhead, Yak-9.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, take a look. We are going to set up for some mock aerial combat between a piston engine aircraft from World War II and a Cold War aircraft from the 1970s and 80s. This only would have taken place in the Korean conflict at the dawn of the jet age, when F-51 Mustangs from the United States Air Force and MiG-15 fighters from Russia would mix it up in the skies over Korea. There's the merge. Watch for a quick turn after they merge. Each pilot trying to gain the advantage to get on the 6 o'clock or immediately behind the other to shoot the other one down. Right now, we have dissimilar aircraft, with the L-39 having a significant speed advantage. It can outclimb and outspeed the Yak-9 flown by Sean Carroll. On the other hand, in a turn like this, the Yak-9 has a tighter turning radius and can point his aircraft more quickly at the adversary. You see him turning inside the radius of the L-39. It looks like he's going to get on some advantage. Right now, the only opportunity that Crunchy has in the L-39 is to climb and try to get out of the way of the oncoming attacker. There, he pulls the stick back. 60 degrees goes up. Sean Carroll will also try to pull, experiencing heavy G, and yet cannot climb, cannot outclimb the fighter. At this point, Crunchy banks left, looks over his shoulder. Can he catch Sean Carroll? Sean Carroll turns inside. He dives toward the ground, pushing it toward the red line. But now on his tail, Crunchy Burgess has the advantage. A quick hard turn to the right. And a tight turn gives the advantage once again to the defending Yak-9. They're in a yo-yo now. And ladies and gentlemen, a great display of aerial combat. How about a big round of applause for Mark Crunchy Burgess and Sean Carroll in the Warrior Flight Team Yak-9 and L-39 Albatross.
Thank you all again, and we hope you appreciate what you're doing up here and the skill that's required for this type of flying. We're very, very lucky to have these very, very experienced pilots. Sean Carroll is a Reno racer, and again, this aircraft is very unique in the way it's built, the way it's flown, as you can see. Mark Crunchy Burgess, with over 4,000 hours, one of the top Tomcat pilots at over 580 tracks. We're very, very lucky. He's on quite a few air shows, and he's our demo pilot. I'd like to also thank Pat Marsh, the owner of the aircraft himself and one of the founders of Warrior Flight Team and Warrior Aviation. Matthew Blunt is driving our M35 truck here, and again, if you could, please show your appreciation for Jared Lemon of the 82nd Airborne, injured in Afghanistan, and part of our program. His goal is to get a career that will enable him to bring his family back together with him in Washington, D.C. We'd love to help him do that. Also, we'd like to recognize Brent Hendricks. We call him Ox. And he is the big gentleman. He wants me to point out he wears a size 16 shoe. He was with the 172nd Sterling Fighter Brigade out of Fairbanks, Alaska. And we really appreciate his service, and we want to thank him and help him with career transition. Warrior Aviation is about career transition, bringing the unemployment rate down to over 20%, which is not acceptable. So very, very management about that we can help transition veterans from active duty and from medically retired to civilian life. We have organizations lined up to hire veterans, but we need to get them career trained to get them ready. Right now what we're doing is setting up for some heritage tasks. We'd like to pay tribute to show our respect and honor for these veterans who serve, plus all the men and women from the service that are here today. If you see somebody in uniform, please thank them for their service. You'll see a couple of heritage style flights, some formation flights that we do as dedication to the Air Force, the Army, Marines, Coast Guard.
All right, Bob. Hey, thank you, Bob Henley, very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to the Warrior Flight Team.
Down here.
That's good. Say again, what's the location again?
Right behind the VIP section, down by the A6 Intruder, is the Warrior Aviation truck. Please come down and learn more about our programs.
Sounds great. Launching right now, the Carrier Onboard Delivery Aircraft. And that's a plane that my buddy Jeff Logel has flown over the years. And Jeff, this is a very important role in the aircraft carrier business because you get people out and back in more than one seat at a time.
That's right, Rob. The cod can carry up to 28 people at once, or 10,000 pounds of cargo, or a combination of the two in between.
And it has been, it's like another airplane you flew. It's by the Grumman Iron Works. You also flew the Eye in the Sky for the Navy, right? It's got a lot of similarities to this airplane.
The cod is very similar to the E-2 Hawkeye.
And with thousands of cars and trucks and vans and SUVs, they are proud to offer a military discount to the fine men and women serving our military. Coming right. The Yak-9 in the two-tone green paint job, Sean Carroll. And in the black, jet-powered L-39 Albatross, Martin Crunchy Burgess. Thanks again to Hall Automotive. Thank him so very, very much. Call 800-242-HALL or click hallauto.com. The Warrior Flight Team gang, thanks for your service, gentlemen. Give them a big wave as the 2.5 ton, the deuce and a half goes by. We're going to bring these two airplanes in for the break, and then we'll get Kyle Obernaar back here, and he will tell you all about this amazing air-powered demonstration. Thanks also to Shell Lubricants, Travel Host, USAA, WebTex, Max Media, ITW Global, Verizon Wireless, my carrier for self-service, WBEC, National Air Traffic Controllers, and ITW Accessories. Let's watch the aircraft as these guys break to land. Oh, and look at the bottom of the L-39. See the little thing sticking down? Those are the speed brakes. More easily maintain formation with that much slower aircraft. All right, we are waiting for these aircraft to land, and then we're going to have the fleet air power demonstration. from the Sunliners here at Naval Air Station, Oceana, Virginia. Thanks also to Entercom, Boeing Company, Wargaming.net. Check that one out because they got a great new game for you aviation enthusiasts. Team Epic, the Virginian Pilot, Tidewater Communications, World Champ Taekwondo, Flagship Newspaper, Sky TV4, Geico, and Cycle Gear. Thanks again to our presenting sponsors, Home Depot and Hall Automotive. Thank you to United Rentals, the preferred source for rental equipment. Whether you're refitting for your next deployment or tracking a commercial job, we've got the solutions you need to get it done on time and under